Alright, I'm back with another Destiny 2 video. Not that anything in particular is happening in the game, but I wanted to respond to an Aztecross video I saw. I'm not getting in a YouTube drama fight here, but I did want to sort of offer a counterpoint to what he was saying in a recent video about the 10 power level increase that is coming with the next episode. His argument is essentially that this is not a big deal, and people complaining about something as little as a 10 power band increase may need to chill a bit. And we've been asking for more things to grind for, and like the hardest core players need things to grind for and pursue. And this is sort of Bungie's rationale, where they say in the TWAB that they want pinnacle activities to still mean something, and even though they have like fire team power and stuff, they want it as like a form of pursuit that the game has gone away from for a while. Aztecross in his video like lists all the pushback reasons to this, but like I think the pushback reasons are enough to not do this. He's very much right in saying that like when they stopped doing this per season, everybody was very happy about it. And now them reinstating it, everybody is not very happy about it, with very, very few exceptions. I think even most endgame players are not really celebrating the, 10 band increase. I agree in the sense like it's not a big deal. I don't think it's, the end of the world or anything, or one of the worst decisions they made all year. Like, it's just sort of annoying, and I don't really buy the argument for the point of it. Aztecross talks about how people have been asking for a reset. This is not a reset. When people are asking for a reset, they mean like Destiny 3. They do not mean like a reset in terms of we have another power grind. And yes, people are always talking about how they need stuff to grind, and yet no one is being like, yes, I would love to grind 10 more power levels with pinnacle drops. Like that's not the grind people want. People want a better loot grind, or something for armor or weapons or whatever. That's the kind of grind they want. Nobody cares about a power grind of 10 levels. Like that's not really a thing anymore, especially because Bungie has just downplayed power level at this point, where it's like, why even bother? They've gone in the direction so far of power doesn't matter, where so many of these activities have like minimum power things you need to hit, but like that's it. And so like ultimately the top tier things are going to be what you might need this extra power for, but like you're instituting this grind to just get back to the minimum level you were at before. And a power grind can no longer significantly over you level for a number of activities. So there's no real point in doing it. And I just don't think that the pros outweigh the cons here. And he brings up the idea that, we need something to bring up the levels of everything in your vault, except they don't have that. They don't have that at all. Where one issue with this now is that it's not a matter of like getting all your, well, it is sort of a matter of this, but like getting all your slots to the new max power. It's every single thing now you're going to have to bring up to, max power or close to max power, to have the perfect build or whatever. And now every single item you have is now going to be under leveled by a little bit unless you do the whole upgrade module thing. His idea was like throw 100 modules into your vault and you could do everything. Great. That doesn't exist. So because that doesn't exist, and there's no announcement that something like that will exist, this will be a problem. Same thing with Bungie talking about slot mismatch drops, where you're trying to go for one really specific item to hit max power and you can't get it. They talked about fixes for that. I don't think we've seen any meaningful fixes for that as far as I can tell. Sometimes you can target specific loots or specific slots in some activities, but again, that is not really a solved problem. Overall, I don't think this is an issue about people being too casual and like not wanting to invest in the game more. I do view it as an engagement hack, where Bungie wants people to spend more time grinding out something than they have been previously, and now that something is power level, because I think that is more important than like quote unquote giving people more of a challenge or something along those lines as something to do in the game, because this is just not something I think anybody has been missing. I think there are ways to do power level and meaningful progression in that way that do feel good, but Destiny is no longer that game. Like what they've done with power level is all over the place. Like if they've leaned so far away from it now, it's like why do this? So I do agree that it's not a big deal. It's just a minor annoyance instead of something that is bolstering the game in some way. And I am cynical enough to believe this is mostly an engagement play. Destiny player count average is the lowest it's been, at least on Steam, as far as I can see, like just ever. And that will pick up again somewhat for the beginning of the second episode here, but it feels like an engagement play, and one that it may backfire, because people are be like, oh, I got to do a power grind again. They might not even bother or show up. Again, for most activities, this will not really be a thing. It's mainly going to be for higher end stuff where you really need to max yourself out. But again, even those players, I don't think are like super eager to grind all the way back up to be like, oh, I can do Grandmaster, whatever. I can do Master hard mode stuff again when I was just doing it, yesterday, and now I have to grind up. That was always the issue with the power cap thing. And like, yeah, there did used to be a 50 power cap increase between seasons, and like, boy, that sucked a lot. So glad to move away from that. But even the 10 power thing where it's just the pinnacle, that never felt good or useful either. So it's better than it used to be, because they've stripped the need for power away for so many things, which I think you can argue has devalued the game in other ways. But because that's the way the game is now, there's no real point in doing this. So it's still not going to be something I really consciously go for. Like, yes, back in the day I did, the full pinnacle rotation and tier whatever powerful gear and, exotics dropping at max level and like, that whole rotation. But at this point, I just don't think I'm remotely excited to do that again. And so this is just not really going to be something that's on my radar, at least personally, for Meaningful Pursuit. Although with the time I give the game these days, technically, I guess I am a casual player, because there's been so much else to play here. And, heading into the next few weeks here, we're going to have a Diablo expansion. I have the Starfield expansion. I don't know how many other people are playing that. We have, there's always something to play. So grinding out 10 additional levels in a Destiny 2 episode is not really high on that priority list. So no, it's not a big deal, but it's annoying, and I don't see the point. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.